welcome back to the channel. I'm Stacy and you're watching Pop Culture Time Machine where we hit rewind and relive the legendary, the cringy, and the unforgettable moments that happened this very week way back when. On November 9th, 1967, Rolling Stone magazine was founded in San Francisco by Jan Wenner, then just 21, and music critic Ralph J. Gleason. The first issue appeared with John Lennon on the cover. It originally appeared in a newspaper style format priced at 25 cents. From the outset, Jan stated the mission was for the magazine would be not just about the music, but about the things and attitudes that music embraces. At the time of its launch, the late 1960s, rock music was exploding, youth culture was asserting itself, and social political change was everywhere. Rolling Stone tapped into that moment and became one of the first major publications devoted to rock journalism, not just the music industry, but the broader cultural surrounding it. Rather than purely focusing on record reviews or band interviews, Rolling Stone covered the intersections of music and society, what bands said, what youth culture thought, how politics and social change were reflected in music. That made the magazine more than just a music mag. It became a cultural barometer. By framing rock and pop culture with serious journalism, strong photography, and ambitious features, Rolling Stone helped legitimize rock music as culturally significant, not just entertainment for teens, but a part of the American and global cultural conversation. Cover appearances on Rolling Stone became a marker of significance for artists. To be on the cover meant you had arrived in some sense. Over the decades, the magazine's influence extended far beyond its early rock roots. It set templates for music magazines globally, helped launch and popularize star writers, photographers, and thinkers, and became part of the cultural fabric. For instance, Rolling Stone compiled 500 greatest albums, 100 greatest singers, and many more lists that blurred music with pop culture canon. Even as media landscapes change, going to digital, streaming, social media, Rolling Stone remains a reference point for how music and culture are covered. Its early decisions to take rock seriously, to treat cultural shifts as legitimate, echo in how blogs, podcasts, streaming editorial, and social platforms approach culture. The fact that the first issue came out in 1967 and the magazine is still around, albeit in a changed form, shows its staying power. In pop culture studies and media history, Rolling Stone is often cited as a turning point, a media institution that helped shape how a generation saw, understood, and consumed culture. On November 10th, 1969, on the public broadcast service PBS in the United States, Sesame Street premiered. It was created by Joan Gans Cooney and Lloyd Morissette and the production organization Sesame Street Workshop. With the goal of using television as an educational medium for preschool children, its format was novel, combining puppets, notably designed by Jim Henson, live actors, animation, music, short segments, and a curriculum of literacy, numeracy, and social emotional learning. The set was conceived to reflect an urban, diverse neighborhood. The street in the show drew on New York City brownstone blocks, such as Harlem culture, etc. Before Sesame Street, much children's television was either simplistic entertainment or dictate in a bland way. Sesame Street brought sophisticated production values, engaging characters, music, research based education. It treated its young viewers as intelligent, capable of learning through entertainment rather than passive recipients. Sesame Street's neighborhood was multiracial, multi-ethnic. Cast members and characters reflected a range of backgrounds. At a time when many shows for children were less diverse, this was significant. The visuals and neighborhood setting were rooted in black urban culture, Harlem Upper West Side brownstones, and thus brought a cultural authenticity and visibility previously uncommon in preschool programming. The show built a brand beyond television, albums, books, toys, theme parks, international versions, and much more of the like. Its songs, like Rubber Ducky, entered popular consciousness. Because it aired on PBS or public television, it had a level of cultural credibility and access, meaning it wasn't strictly commercial children's programming for profit, but had an educational mission. This positioned it in pop culture as something both fun and beneficial. Sesame Street pioneered a model of educational television built on empirical research, formative evaluation, aligning content with learning outcomes, revising the show based on viewer research. Its educational impact was real. Studies show it improved school readiness, language, and literacy outcomes for children, especially disadvantaged ones. The fusion of entertainment plus curriculum influenced future children's television programming and made visible the idea that TV could teach while it entertained. In an era of fragmented media, streaming, and shorter attention spans, Sesame Street's model, attention grabbing, research informed, multi-module, remains highly relevant. Many children's programs still reference it or build on its format because it has maintained relevance for over 5 decades. It serves as a touchstone for nostalgia and for cultural commentary about childhood, media, education, and social change. The show remains globally impactful. Versions of it exist in over 150 countries, influencing children's media internationally. Here is your Did You Know of the Week. On November 15th, 1971, the Intel 4004 was introduced by Intel Corporation. It was the first commercially available CPU packaged on a single chip, and it was originally designed for a Japanese calculator company, Busicom, but Intel kept the rights and released it more broadly. At the time, electronics and computing were largely still expansive and specialized, so the 4004 shrank what a computer brain could be and made microcomputing possible at a new scale. Because the 4004 made CPUs far less expensive and smaller, it helped open the door to an era of personal computing and embedded computing. This shift alone rippled into pop culture by helping to create home computers, video games, digital media, and the idea of computer in the home start to become real. So when computing power moves from labs and businesses into everyday devices, it means culture, music, games, film, communication starts to change around it. The 4004 is an early pivot point in that shift. It enabled more rapid innovation that led to devices influencing how society interacts, how culture is produced and consumed. Because microprocessors could now be embedded in myriad devices, pop culture media branches expanded. Video games, home computers, consumer electronics, interactive kiosks. The hardware side enabled by microprocessors gave birth to a new cultural phenomenon. And that's your nostalgic rewind. What's your favorite throwback moment? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a ride in the pop culture time machine. Until next week, stay nostalgic, stay fabulous.